Oh man.
I like to keep it mellow. I smoke and keep it mellow. I drink and keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow.
What's going on, everyone? So today we're going to be talking about a question I get all the time, which is how do you pay for med school? How do you pay for the cost of living? How do you afford all of these things that you can afford while going to school full time? My very first form of income is federal loans. So I'm going to tell you guys some numbers, not to say this is how much I have or this is how much I make, but just because I want to bring some transparency and some honesty to you guys about the med school experience and what you really can and cannot afford. It's going to be different for every different school depending on where you live, where that school is located, all of that stuff. My federal loans make up about $40,000 of my total income. My second form of income comes from private loans. Now, the company that I chose to use is called Sallie Mae, but my school provides a ton of different companies to take loans out from. So you don't have to get them from Sallie Mae. You can get them from some other company. That's just the company that I felt offered the best rate at that time. I picked Sallie Mae and they give me about $15,000-ish a year. That combines to $55,000 a year. You might be thinking, wow, $55,000 is a lot of money, but you have to understand that not all $55,000 goes into my account. I don't get all that money, unfortunately. Over half of that goes to pay my tuition and my fees. I would say I get about $20,000-ish a year. After all of that being said and done, that's what I have to live off of. Med schools want to give you enough money to where you can focus on school, not focusing on money and whether you're gonna be able to pay rent or feed yourself for that month. The way the school came up with this $20,000 was they organize everything. So they take into account the cost of living or your rent. They take into the account of the cost of food in the area. They take into the account the transportation and what is the average distance every student has to travel in order to make it to school. So they factor in all the costs of living within this area and then they basically come up with a number, and that's a number that they give you in order to make sure you're living well enough to take care of yourself and perform well in school. Another question I get asked all the time is, do I work or do I have a full-time job? And the answer is no. My full-time job is studying. I study full-time. I study 12 hours a day. That's more than a 9-to-5 job. Don't even think I could work a part-time job. I do volunteer on the weekends. Yes, you could possibly work during the weekends, but I don't really recommend it if it's not going towards your goals as a physician. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so you have to take out all these loans. When do you have to pay them back? You actually don't have to pay back your school loans until you graduate. So in 2020, when I graduate, that's when I have to start making payments on my loans. You also have the option to defer payments for about a year or so. So while you're in residency, you can defer them for another year. Just keep in mind that in the United States, med school is considered a professional school, so you're not able to take out subsidized loans, meaning that you can't take out loans that don't accrue interest until you graduate. You can only take out unsubsidized loans, which means that as soon as that money comes out of the government's bank account or that private company's bank account, it starts accruing interest. From the moment that that money gets withdrawn, you accrue interest on it. That's also something to keep in mind if you choose to defer loan payments later down the road in residency, you still accrue interest. So even today, I'm still accruing interest on the loans that I took out back in August. With that being said, the tuition and fees kind of changed from year to year depending on, you know, if you have to take step 1, if you have to take step 2. They factor in all of those costs. They factor in the travel costs for that. At the end of my graduation, I will be in roughly $200-ish thousand of debt. So for all those people who are saying I'm rich, I'm actually going to be in over $200,000 of debt. Now, this might seem very, 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 very scary, but this is the norm, guys. Most med students take out loans. Most med students are in about that much debt when they graduate. So there's always ways to pay it off. You don't have to pay it off all at once. You know, there's payment plans. Once you graduate, you can reconsolidate all of your loans. So I could consolidate my federal loans and my private loans. And I also have undergrad loans. So I could combine all of those into one chunk of money and then have a different interest rate on it and make better payments on that. So there's plenty of options to pay back your loans when you get done. Do not let this deter you from going into medical school if you are truly passionate about the field. Now, loans isn't the only way to pay for med school. There's a lot of my classmates who have their parents pay for it, and this is great because they're not accruing any interest on their debt. If you and your family can afford to pay for it out of pocket, it might be in your best interest to do that. Just because the interest can really rack up. I think the rates that I have right now are about between 6 and 8% interest. If you can avoid interest, then I would highly recommend that. I also get asked, do you have to have parents who are rich to get into med school? And the answer is no. I pay for everything now that I buy and all of my living expenses now through loans. So the only thing my parents pay for is my cell phone bill and my health insurance, because as you guys know, with those two plans, if you're on a family plan, things are much cheaper per individual than if I was just on my own plan. So they helped me out with that, but I figured if I were to do both of those on my own, health insurance plan through the school would be about $50 a month, and then a cell phone bill would be anywhere from $50 to $100 a month. That would be an extra $150 a month that I'd have to account for, and it's something I definitely could afford. So if you're really worried about money, don't be worried about money. Med school wants to give you the best possible chance to succeed. They want you to pass. They don't want you to drop out. They don't want you worrying about things you don't need to be worrying about. You know, you have so many tests, you have so much knowledge to remember that they don't want money to be an issue. I hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the financial aspect of med school. Let me know if you guys want any other financial tips, and maybe I can talk about ways that I budget through med school, or ways that I save money in med school. So comment down below, let me know what you like. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the vlog. There's Jake. Say hi, Jake. What up? There's Troy. Say hi, Troy. What up? What are you doing there? Good morning. So today's Friday. It's a little past 5 a.m. Talking quiet because Madison's still sleeping, but typically before exams I'll get up really early and review all the stuff that I need to write before the exam, and that way I just feel way more ready and I feel like everything's fresh in my mind when I take the quiz. So one quick study tip before you take exams is go to bed early, wake up early, make sure you're rested, but give yourself plenty of time to review all the material. Oh man. When it's time to work out, but you didn't take your pre-workout yet. Alright guys, so today I had a super early morning. As you saw earlier today, I woke up at 5 and then I took a quiz, which I did really well on, so I'm happy about that. Getting ready to go work out. Got the Ghost secret stuff, which if you haven't seen this, it's gonna be Ghost size. This is just the pre-release packaging. Just something to get people hyped up about it. So I'm gonna take a scoop of this. I don't think I can say too much about it besides that it's a creatine-based supplement, meaning that there's mainly creatine in it, but a few other key things to help grow muscle, basically increase your size as it's called. So look out for that. It releases in June. Oh, by the way, their new peanut butter cereal milk flavor is amazing. So if you really like peanut butter, definitely give this a try. Drank my pre-workout, got my aminos, time to go to the gym.